Hey guys, Megadeth Jason here, and welcome to another edition of my Madden 2017 franchise. It is the 2019 postseason, and let's go ahead and what I'll do here is I'll do like what I normally do. I'll split it up into two parts. Um, the first part will be the 2019 season recap, and then the second part will be the 2019 postseason. So let's go ahead and recap everything. We're going to end up, due to the loss to the Lions, we actually are going to play Green Bay in the first round of the playoffs. We do get a home game, however, so there is somewhat of a silver lining. We take a look at the standings here. NFC, the Giants are going to have the 1 seed. It says we have the 2 seed, but I think actually, based on the standings, I think Carolina actually will have it. The other playoff teams include the Seahawks, Cardinals, and Packers. The worst finish in the NFC was the Bears at 3-12 and 1, followed by the Buccaneers at 4-11 and 1, and the 49ers at 5-10 and 1. When we take a look at the AFC, the Titans clinched the 1 seed, and looks like the Texans have a first round bye as well. The Jaguars, the Barons, Bills, and Bengals all clinched playoff berths. The Bengals at 7-9, winning that division. The worst record in the AFC is the 5-10 Dolphins, the 5-11 Colts, the 5-10 and 1 Chiefs. There's a couple 6-10 teams as well. So it looks like the Chicago Bears most likely will have the number 1 pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. We take a look at the playoff schedule that's upcoming. Jacksonville will be at Buffalo. Packers will be here in Minnesota. Texans at Cincinnati, and the Cardinals at the Seahawks. So there does exist a chance that we could see Teddy Bridgewater and the Cardinals at some point in time. Let's go ahead and take a look at how we finished statistically. Philip Spicer ended up with 2,105 yards, 16 TDs, and 9 interceptions with a 60% completion percentage. Rookie James Bauer had 1,610 yards, 64% completion percentage, 11 touchdowns, and 12 picks. Like I've said before in previous videos, I do think that we will be highly pursuing a quarterback this year. Giovanni Sally, 259 attempts for 1,973 yards and 13 touchdowns. Javarius Allen added 303 yards and 6 touchdowns. Receiving, Kyle Rudolph had 83 receptions for 1,220 with 8 TDs. Pinnock, 793 for 4. Treadwell, 603 for 4. Stills, 560 for 2. Nicholas Levy, 297 for 3. Sally had 3 touchdowns. Applewhite had 1. And BJB Enemy had a touchdown as well. Defensively, our team leader in tackles this season was Harrison Smith with 82, followed by the other safety Bradley Malloy with 70. Sack-wise, our team leader in sacks is Jacquez Smith with 7, followed by Everson Griffin with 5. Our interception leader was Trey Waynes with 4, and then we had multiple people with 1 interception. We'll go ahead and take a look at league stats, who led the league in each category. Passing was Andy Dalton. Touchdowns was Aaron Rodgers. Interceptions was Jay Cutler. Imagine that. Giovanni Sally led the league in rushing yardage. Delvin Cook led the league in rushing touchdowns. Receptions was led by Allen Robinson. He also led receiving yards. And he also led touchdowns, so he had a clear across the board handle on all of the receiving records. Sacks, Oliver Vernon had 22.5, followed by J.J. Watt with 20. Interceptions, the league leader was Vontae Davis with 6, along with Jacarius Randall with 6, and Chris Harris Jr. with 6. Let's go ahead and take a look at the awards. We'll scan through the weekly awards here. I think we had a couple. I think Giovanni Sally brought home a couple awards. Teddy Bridgewater for the Cardinals. I really wish we wouldn't have got rid of him now. Giovanni Sally in Week 13. Anthony Barr in Week 14. Giovanni Sally in Week 15. And we'll take a look at the yearly awards. Russell Wilson is your MVP. Giovanni Sally finished second in the voting. Coach of the Year, Ben McAdoo with the Giants. I finished fourth. We looked at AFC awards. Your Offensive Player of the Year, Andy Dalton. Defensive Player of the Year, J.J. Watt. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Watts Humber. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Lawrence Wofford. Best QB, Andy Dalton. Best Running Back, Delvin Cook. Best Wide Receiver, Allen Robinson. Best Offensive Lineman, Joe Thomas. Best D-Line, J.J. Watt. Best Linebacker, Jadeveon Clowney. Best Defensive Back, Casey Hayward. And Best Kicker, Steven Gostkowski. In the NFC, Offensive Player of the Year, Russell Wilson. Giovanni Sally finished second. We had no other one in that category. Defensive Player of the Year, Oliver Vernon. We had no one in that category. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Giovanni Sally. James Bauer finished sixth. Defensive Rookie of the Year, DJ Nishke, I think is how you say that, for the Buccaneers. The Best QB, Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers. Philip Spicer finished 10th. Giovanni Sally finished number 1 in Best Overall Running Back. Best Wide Receiver, Odell Beckham Jr. from the Giants, followed by Dez Bryant. We had no one. Best Offensive Line, Tyron Smith for the Cowboys. I think he has won every single season I have played in Madden so far. Best Defensive Lineman, Oliver Vernon from the Giants. Best Linebacker, Ryan Kerrigan from the Redskins. Best Defensive Back, Jamarius Randall from Green Bay. And Best Kicker, James Sparks. Blair Walsh finished second. We'll go ahead here and look at some of the transactions and see what coaches may or may not have gotten fired. Bears fire head coach Sean Payton. Buccaneers fire Dirk Koetter. Colts fire Thomas Pitta. Dolphins fire Adam Gase. Raiders fire Jack Del Rio. So we've got a few coaching vacancies. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coaching vacancies so far. That's the real big releases so far. Retirements, John Fox retired from the Saints. Marvin Lewis retired from the Lions. And Andy Reid retired from the Chiefs. So really that's like 8 coaching vacancies that we're going to have open this offseason. So that is huge. Practice squad, I'm sure the computer added some players for us. We added a right tackle to our practice squad. I'm sure there isn't much for re-signings yet. It does not appear to be so. Paxton Lynch was one of the big re-signings during the offseason for the Broncos, or during the season for the Broncos. Demarius Thomas re-signs. Gostkowski re-signed. I didn't negotiate with any of my free agents because I wanted to see what I was going to have left for cap room. Carson Wentz gets his big deal. So basically these are all the rookies that are re-signed. You know, the rookies of this year's real-life NFL draft class. Gronkowski cashes in on a huge deal. Bobby Wagner. Lamar Miller re-signs with the Texans. Even though I find that funny. That he leaves for the Dolphins, they cut him and he signs with the Texans. Corey Coleman gets a big deal. Adrian Peterson re-signs for the Barons for a 1-year deal. Ezekiel Elliott re-signs with the Cowboys. Dak Prescott re-signs with the Saints. Yet another quarterback I probably should have never gotten rid of. Ben Roethlisberger re-signs with the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers with the Packers. Brissett with the Patriots. Brissett really cashing in. God damn. 6 years, 142 million. Holy shit. That's a good chunk of change. Richard Sherman with the Seahawks, along with Russell Wilson, AJ Green with the Bengals. That's pretty much the big signings throughout the season, the big re-signings. So I'm going to go ahead and end there, guys, and then I will start another video. For those of you that are watching live, give me about 2 seconds, and we'll get in this playoff game with Green Bay.